The Greatest You by Trent Shelton. Welcome to my channel. My name is Samuel and I want to make self-growth normal. If you want to make self-growth normal, because I don't want to do it alone, and who doesn't want to make self-growth normal, then make sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It helps with ranking and all this other stuff, and I really appreciate it because so much work goes into making these videos. Trent Shelton is like, based on what he said in this book about how he takes criticism, I will put it this way because I can be super sensitive to what some people say. I find each of his videos saying just about the same messages in the same ways to the point where it almost makes them sound like they don't really mean anything. It's like watching the same video on repeat. He's sitting down with someone in a chair, or he's talking to the camera about how when things get real, fake people get exposed. Sometimes people will talk to you just so they can talk about you, and the like. And I always just, despite how true it all really actually it is very true, I always just found it extremely shallow. And yet, his videos have amassed like tens, hundreds of millions of views on all social media platforms, especially as far as I know, especially Facebook. So dub me a hater. I'm a hater of anyone. It really only kind of means that I admire what they have, but it just means that, it makes me think if I had those results, in order to get to that place, I just don't see myself doing what they are doing. It's just not something I personally and expressively see myself resonating with, despite the intentions. And I feel like literally anyone who hates on anything feels probably something similar to that, but maybe they're just not willing to admit it to themselves. I mean, that's how it was for me. It took me years and years and years to find out why I was hating on things, but now I kind of know. However, I've found in the past 3-4 years of my life, short life so far, I'm only 22, that if I think something is dumb or shallow and it scratches nothing more than the surface level of things, it's often because I don't understand it and I'm being ignorant, especially if it's a personal brand and or his or her fan base. So I got his most recent book. I figured just maybe it'll either reinforce my opinion of him or steer it in a more positive, constructive direction. And like I had a feeling it would, it did both. My favorite chapter is probably the one about actually finding your purpose by peeling back different layers of your life to see who you are instead of by focusing on actually simply finding your purpose alone. I've tried both of these, and from my experience, let me tell you, I gotta agree with it. Lots of books talk about finding your life purpose. I don't remember the last time I resonated with a take on a topic like that as much as this take. His insight also stood out about how the best stories are the ones where bad things happen, and boring ones are where everything is perfect and rainbows and sunshines and unicorns and flowers, but nothing bad happens. Pain is just a very inevitable aspect of the human experience, and it's a good thing in a lot of ways because it tells you that something is wrong, and if it continues, then something will get worse. But with the pain versus pleasure and what we associate those two things with, that's also sort of a learning experience in of itself. So you have to know what kind of pain is lying to you and what pain is not. The chapter about the champion mindset really stood out too. At least when he talked about the consistency of a morning routine. My morning routine has suffered so badly in the last year. It honestly has left a void in my self-esteem. The last few weeks, I've tried to add to it, right? Especially the super important stuff. I write down my long-term 10x goals. I write down 8 things I'm grateful for and a particular reason I'm grateful for each one. And then Grant Cardone's 15 daily commitments of a great salesperson from Sell or Be Sold. Amazing book. I check my numbers on Amazon, YouTube, and Mint. I say good morning to my girlfriend, but I don't work out anymore. After getting a new job a few months ago, I stopped doing that. It left a hole in my self-confidence. And I really need to do what he said about where you work out or say no to something to the point where it just becomes automatic. You don't even think about it. It just happens, and saying no to things that don't matter for the rest of the day is super easy, way easier. The chapter about what defines a great relationship is also I really wish his videos had as much depth as this book had. Things like the chapter about where he talks about negative legacies. Do you want negative nurturing to leave negative impacts on the future of your family, or are you going to correct that course and put it in another direction. Obviously a better one. And it's this more personal, bigger picture concept that really helps bring books of this variety to a warm, genuine close. Quotes. You'll never win your war by running from your battles. Sometimes some of the hardest truths to face are those that get to the very essence of how we define ourselves as human beings. As long as you hold on to anger, you're letting someone who is no longer a part of your life control the life you're living now. Direction 1. I recommend this book for anyone who is like, self-help. What on earth is self-help? Direction 2. If you like this book, I recommend checking out The School of Greatness by Lewis Howes. Nothing else comes to mind. I mean, I try to avoid books like this one at this point because it's like what seems like very basic tenets are of self-help. Not that they're not useful, they're extremely useful. Really, really useful. But there are books I hear about those and they're like this, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. Meanwhile, I'm just like, others, this is just another book about the basics. The Greatest You by Trent Shelton. There's a link in the description if you guys want to check it out and read the reviews. That and all the other books that I mentioned in this video if you want to check those out too. If there are any other books that you guys want me to check out and review, please let me know in the comments below. Also let me know if you checked out this book and you liked it. But hey, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, because I don't get why people watch this far into my videos and they don't subscribe, but if you have subscribed and you want to turn it up just a notch and turn on that notification bell to receive a notification every time I drop a new video, that would mean the world to me. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really appreciate it. You can find me everywhere and I will see you then.